Hi, this is Mrs. Fansler. Today I'm going to be teaching you the writing portion of your e-learning day. We are going to be learning about the genre of writing called realistic fiction. You may remember an example of a realistic fiction. Do you remember the story called Henry and Mudge and the Starry Night? This story is a realistic fiction. Remember that realistic fictions have three main key features. First, the characters and events are made up. 2, events in the story could really happen. And 3, the story has a beginning, middle, and end. If you think back to the story, Henry and Mudge and the Starry Night have all three of these key features. Let's look at another example of a realistic fiction together. This story is called The Storm. Ask yourself during the reading, is this story made up, but it seems like real life? Do the characters and settings seem real, and the events seem like they could really happen? Let's get started. Find paragraph 1 that starts with the word Liz. Follow along as I read. Liz and Sam were playing in the park one afternoon. First, they got on the swings and flew high up in the air. Liz pointed at the pretty blue sky. Big, puffy clouds floated by. Next, they went to play on the slide. Liz climbed up the ladder. She pointed at the sky. It was dark. The clouds were big and gray. Then Liz slipped down the slide. Sam slid down after her. They ran home. They could see the rain coming towards them. Finally, they got to Sam's house. They closed the door and peeked out the window. Fat drops of rain hit the sidewalk. The storm had arrived. Now, let's analyze this text and see if it has the three main key features of a realistic fiction. 1. Is this story made up, but it seems like real life? Yes, this didn't really happen in real life, but a boy and a girl could be playing at a park. A park is a setting that could be in real life, and it could really begin to rain while you are outside playing. 2. Does this story have a beginning, middle, and end? Yes. At the beginning of this story, Liz and Sam went on the swings. In the middle of the story, Liz and Sam went on the slide and saw a storm coming. At the end of the story, they ran to Sam's house and got in just as the storm came. Now your task will be to write a realistic fiction story about how someone spent their day off from school. Realistic stories need a clear beginning, middle, and end. One way to make the sequence or order of events clear is to use clue words, such as first, next, and last. Clue words such as first, start, and beginning can let the reader know which events happen in the beginning of your story. If we look at our mentor text, The Storm, we can see the word first is used to show us what is happening in the beginning of the story. Clue words that can signal what happens in the story's middle include then, next, after, and later. If we look at our mentor text, middle, we can find the words next and then. To show story events at the end, you can use clue words such as finally, last, and end. For example, in our text, it uses the word finally. You may begin your task. Remember, you are writing a realistic fiction story about how someone spent their day off from school. Your story must be a made-up story, but it seems like real life. The characters and settings seem real, and the events seem like they could really happen. Your story must have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Your story must have sequence words like first, next, then, and finally to show sequence. Thank you for listening to my lesson. I look forward to reading your story.